Welcome to this NCUA Consumer Report on sending money internationally with confidence. This report is part of a series dedicated to informing you about important consumer protection matters. Consumers in the United States send billions of dollars to friends, family members, or businesses in other countries through international money transfers, also known as remittances or international wire transfers. Generally, there are fees and other costs associated with this service. In this video, we'll take a look at how certain consumer protections make it easier for you to understand the true cost of an international money transfer and how to get answers if something goes wrong. First, a quick overview on how you are protected. Remittance transfer providers must give you certain disclosures before the transaction is made, provide proof of payment, and offer you a way to dispute or cancel the transfer. These consumer protections apply to most remittance transfers if they are more than $15, made by a consumer in the United States, and sent to a person or company in a foreign country. Each time you authorize a transfer of funds, the company is required to give you a prepayment disclosure before the transfer is sent. The prepayment disclosure must contain the exact amount of the money to be transferred, the exchange rate, the amount of any fees including taxes or processing fees, the total amount to be received by the designated recipient, and if applicable, a disclaimer that additional fees and foreign taxes may apply. This disclosure information is to be provided free of charge, and you are under no obligation to continue with the transfer after receiving the prepayment disclosure. You can use this information to decide to approve the transfer or comparison shop to find the lowest cost provider. Once you pay for a transfer, you will receive a receipt or proof of payment disclosure that includes the same information on the prepayment disclosure, along with the date of availability, name of the recipient, error resolution and cancellation rights, the transfer provider contact information, the transfer date, the contact information for the relevant state regulator, and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau contact information. You have a right to cancel a remittance transfer either orally or in writing within a specified period of time. Generally, you have the ability to cancel an international money transfer up to 30 minutes after you pay for the transaction, at no charge, and you will receive a refund. In order to cancel the transaction, the funds must have not been picked up or deposited into the recipient's account. Also, you will need to provide enough information to identify the transaction. For any remittance transfer scheduled 3 or more business days in advance, you must cancel the transfer at least 3 business days before the scheduled transfer date. The provider must refund the total amount paid to you within 3 business days of receiving the cancellation request. Your refund will include all fees and, if allowed, taxes. If an error occurs, specific remedies are available to you. Examples of errors include situations where the sender pays a different amount than the amount stated in the disclosure, the recipient receives a different amount than the amount stated in the disclosure, or the transfer is not delivered to the recipient by the date stated in the disclosure, unless the error occurs for certain permissible business reasons. If an error occurs, you must report the error so that the provider receives it within 180 days after the date the transfer was to be available, as stated in the disclosure. At that time, the transfer provider will have 90 days to investigate and make a determination. The provider will report to you the results of the investigation within 3 business days after completing its investigation. If the provider determines that an error did occur, it must correct the error within 1 business day or as soon as possible. Thank you for watching this NCUA Consumer Report. For more information, visit mycreditunion.gov. Also, check out these other NCUA Consumer Report videos on important consumer protection topics.